Hey, hi, hello, welcome to Lost.in.Prose, where we talk about all things bookish. And in today's video, I will be reviewing A Good Girl's Guide to Murder TV series. So let's begin. So, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder has come out on Netflix on August 1st. I did not like it that much. I have loved reading the books. I have loved book 1, book 2. I've loved all the books in the series. And TV series was just personally a little disappointing. I think they could have done a little better with the TV series. The casting was on point, the acting was phenomenal, but I think the lack of characters that were added, which were integral to the plot line, even not only in the first installment, but also like the second book as well as the third book. Those characters were not introduced in the first book. At least they could have stuck to the basic storyline. I mean, people have said that it is just a book adaptation and doesn't have to be exactly like the book, but this is literally the core concept of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I think it should have been at least this much same as the book. Like, no Stanley Forbes was mentioned in the first book, and it gets his character is really important, and he should have been introduced in the first one. I can't believe how they ended the first one without mentioning Stanley Forbes. I think that it missed out on characters, and a few new characters were added which weren't necessary, honestly. You really should have bought the characters that were there in the book in the first place. Like many people have, of course, not refrained from commenting on Holly Jackson's posts about the lack of similarity between the book's plotline as well as the series series plotline. But this is what she has to say. She personally has said that it isn't in her hands, but I think like an author, I don't know how much influence an author has, but of course, I think if she says it, it must be harder on her to see the series not go according to the book, than like the audience. It must be much harder on her to see it that way. So I personally was a little disappointed, but I think the acting was okay. The acting was good actually, but there was a lack of chemistry between Ravi and Pip. I mean, they were so cute in the book, especially like even in the first book, even in the second book. They were extremely cute, and I think that was definitely missing in the TV series. And they're both very phenomenal actors. I think they really acted very well, and they made a good pair, and they perfectly fit into their characters. But hints were given on about the first, like about the second book and the third book in the first season itself. So yeah, I think we'll check out the other seasons as well, but I don't know how it will work out now that Stanley Forbes was not in the first book. I not like that. That is one thing that I really don't like. It infuriates me. But I think if you watch that series as a series alone, like if you're not a reader, then I think that is a good murder mystery thriller series. Like if you watch it that way, like you're not comparing it to the books at all, then it would be a really interesting, a really engaging kind of a read. But if you have to compare it with the book, because you know you're a reader, you can't get the book out of your mind because they were so good, then this series is literally really mid. It isn't that good. And also I think that there were a lot of extra scenes that weren't in the book, but they were in this TV series. But again, there were so many iconic scenes that were in the book, but they weren't there in the TV series. I think those scenes should have been there. Like, yeah, real men wear floral while trespassing. That line wasn't there in the series. I was like, oh my god, why is it not there in the series? And I personally think that it was okay-ish, and I think that they should really release it on more platforms, and like sooner. Like this time it came out a month earlier on the BBC platform. It came out a month later on Netflix, and that is a huge gap, and you basically see everything on reels before it comes out. Then they shouldn't have a month's gap when season 2 comes out, because we really want to watch it real fast before we get any spoilers. So well, that's all. That were my thoughts on this series. Please do let me know what you thought about the series, and if you've watched it or if you're planning to watch it. I kept this spoiler free, but yeah, this was not to bring you down. I think the series is definitely a good watch, but don't keep comparing it with the book in mind. That would lead you to more and more disappointment, but you can give it a go. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you. Bye bye. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and comment. Bye.